Hey guys, welcome back to 247 DIY. Today we're going to be upgrading my standard rope pull deer gambrel for an electric hoist. So stick around and I'll show you how I go about doing it. So first I figured I'd show you my current setup. This is the back side of my shop. It's just dirt floor. I do a lot of woodworking out here because I don't mind the sawdust and everything. This is where I process my deer during hunting season. And don't mind the ladder there. I've been recently running electrical. I got these lights put up out here. I didn't have a lot of lighting before, but currently I just use, your standard, rope pull gambrel. It's just hooked over one of the beams up there and comes down. I got a little weight scale on there, but the problem I run into is because it's such a large area, I don't have a convenient spot to tie the rope off to. And so that usually means I will tie it to a leg down here on my processing table or to a leg over here on my table saw. But that gets really annoying, especially when you're in the middle of processing and you need to raise and lower. So you got to untie your rope, raise it a little bit, then tie it off again, and then you need to move down a little bit. So then you got to untie it, then lower it down, and then tie it back off again. And depending on what angle that rope's going, you're trying to move around the deer. You're always kind of in the way of the rope and stepping over it. And it's not the end of the world, but I figured for a relatively cheap hoist on Amazon, why not make my life easier and just have a push button hanging here where I can raise and lower the deer at the push of a button. So let's go ahead and we'll unbox that hoist and we'll go ahead and get it installed up there. All right guys, so here's the electric hoist. Again, I got it on Amazon. I'll leave a link below. This one was at the $100 mark. You can go a little bit cheaper, you can go a lot more expensive, but this seemed best bang for your buck, especially getting into something that's going to make your life this much more convenient for under $100. I figured, why not? So let's get it unboxed and you'll see what's going on with this. So here's the unit itself. Like I said, you're getting it at $100, but you're also getting what you paid for. One big negative when you read the reviews for this is the length of wire here for the controller is only about 3 or 4 feet long, which obviously if you saw the height of the rafters in there, we need more length on that. I won't be able to reach it. So what I did is I believe this is, can't remember if this was 15 feet or 25 feet, somewhere between, 15 and 25 feet. This is just standard 5-core sheathed wire. So what we are going to do once we figure out how to mount this thing is we're going to be extending the cord for this to make it reachable. The other thing we're going to do is I believe I'm going to hardwire this into the electric I just ran for the lights out there. Typically, your standard lighting circuit's on 14 gauge wiring. I did run that entire lighting circuit on 12 gauge wiring, which is your standard for electrical for outlets and stuff like that. So should have no problem just chopping this plug off and direct wiring this into the wiring for the overhead lights. I can't imagine a reason why I would need to use this with the lights off. So I don't think it's going to matter at all that it's on switched power. And your kit here comes with a second hook. I'll take a closer look at this, but I believe that this is so you can run it from the dual point. If you look up the link, you'll see what I'm talking about, but you can either run a single point like this, which is recommended for 220 pounds, or you can run this back up and then this will come off. So it's a double point, and then it's rated for 440 pounds. That's what that's for. And then we have your 2 mounting clamps. Now, that's where I'm going to have to do a little bit of brain scratching because these are meant to fit square tubing, and then they bolt here and they bolt here, this being the top of the unit. I would like to just mount this to a beam. I don't know. So I'm going to have to step away for a minute. Give me just 1 second so I can look this over and figure how exactly I want to mount this. Alright guys, so I thought about it for a while and I don't want to use these brackets that they supplied to hang over either a bar or a pipe. I just don't like the design of it, and I didn't really have anything on hand where I could utilize this. I was going to go run to Lowe's and get some 1x1 angle iron. But I actually had this laying around. This is the chain rack from a garage door opener. I actually bought it a while ago, and then it turns out I needed some parts for it that were discontinued, and there's nothing currently being made for modern openers that would allow me to use that opener, so might as well get some use out of it. So I'm just going to measure the distance between the runners up there in the ceiling and cut these to length, and then we will, it looks like we're going to have just enough material on here where we should get a good grip without having to worry about the bolts pulling out. They're not going to be too close to the side. So let me get some measurements, get this cut up into manageable pieces, and I'll be right back with you. All right, so now that we got the beams attached, I'm going to go ahead and go put it up in place so that we can mark the ends of these, drill some more holes just so we can mount this down to the 2x that this is going to be sitting on top of. So with all those holes drilled, that's the support beam squared away. So now I want to move on to wiring this thing up the way I want it. I figure it's going to be a lot cleaner of an install for putting this longer cord on for the controls to actually connect it inside of the panels rather than splice it in. So we're going to get this panel off, we'll take care of this panel, and we'll go ahead and get this longer control cable spliced in. All right, so once you get this open, here on the far side with the green, the white, and the yellow cable, that's your controls. You have a ground, you have this white cable here which goes up to the capacitor here on the top side, and then you have the yellow cable which ties into the blue cable from your power. So we'll go ahead and cut the crimp connector off of the blue and yellow. We will cut the crimp connector off of the white and black. And the ground is a spade connector, which we'll just pull off. And they actually made this kind of easy. It's just got these threaded compression fittings for your cable here. And sorry guys, I missed one. There's actually also a black that comes out of there, and they're held in with these little connectors here. You just get a tiny flat head, and that'll allow it to pull right out. Just like that. Also, this power cord is pretty short. It's not really going to work. I mean, I could make it work, but I mean, as long as we're going to all this trouble, we might as well rewire in a longer piece of cord that I can run to the nearest junction box up there on the rafters. Alright guys, so there we are. I had to change up the color of the wires just for what was available, but you can see we have brown now connects to the capacitor that laid on top. That's off the control. Also off the control is black, just like before coming down here. I did solder the ends of these just to give it a little bit more grip when you screw these terminals down. You have the yellow and green stripe goes to the hot side from our new power cable. I did have to do a little dissecting on the power cable, but I got it opened up, and as it turns out on this, blue is the hot, red is the neutral, and yellow is the ground. So then we have our neutral coming down here into where the other wire was coming. Same thing, just soldered the end of that and screwed it down. I didn't have a ring terminal for the ground here, so I just twisted the end of the wire and stuck it down in there, and then just ran the screw in on top of it, so that's holding that ground in. And hard to see, but the blue coming out of the 5-core cable that we added, I just put a spade connector on that and connected that up to the other side of the switch. Now the remote side. Alright guys, so there's that all wired up. Get it back together and go throw this up in place. Alright guys, so it's all up there, it's wired in. I didn't film that just because in order to wire it in I had to shut the lights off out here. But I already had a junction box right about there for that light strip there, so I just ran it into that junction box. And we're going to go ahead and put this budget Amazon hoist to the test. I've got about 150 pounds worth of brake rotors there, so let's see if it can hold its own. So yeah, I'd say it did pretty good for a sub $100 hoist off Amazon. Everything seems to be great. Didn't seem to really have much struggle at all lifting that weight up there. As the cable goes up, it is a little crunchy sounding, but again, what do you expect for an electric hoist that's under $100? So I know I threw this video together pretty quick, guys, but I hope you enjoyed it. As always, feel free to leave a comment below. If you liked the video, hit that like button, and if you're not subscribed already, please go ahead and subscribe. Thanks.